Om Jnanatimrandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmalatam Yaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born the darkest ignorance, of my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes with the shining torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Continuing our reading of Bhagavad Gita from chapter 10, entitled The Opulence of the Absolute. Text number 19. So you just a little
minute to
recap.
see if anyone join. Maybe wait for 5
Oh,
more
that's
minutes
okay.
just in case.
No, that's okay. No problem. No problem. Bhakti Mala just sent me a message saying that she's feeling exhausted. She won't be able to make it this time round.
Okay. That's all right.
Yep. So yeah, last week was text 18. Yeah, so now we're getting into Krishna's going to explain his different energies. Remember, we've been talking about that in the beginning we're not qualified to see God's spiritual form, but what we can see is all his energies, which are everywhere at every moment. So that's a very easy way to connect with God, like we've discussed. And do you remember some example we used to talk about, even if you can't see?
Yeah, that's
And
like, you can sun, air,
yeah,
everything, you can say like you breathe, but you can't see air.
yeah.
But yeah, you still do breathe. And sun, you can, energy is there. You can't
Well, like
really
if the
see.
sun is below the horizon or behind a cloud or something, you can't see it, but you can see the sunlight. If you
Yes,
see the sunlight, you
that's
know the sun must be somewhere.
yeah,
You might
definitely,
not know exactly where the sun is, but you know it's there somewhere because the
definitely,
sunlight's
yeah,
there. So in the same way, when we perceive this energy around us, the water and the fire and the air and the sun and everything, we know that these energies come from somebody. We might not know who that somebody is,
yeah,
but we know that there must be a God from which all these energies are coming.
yeah,
And in the Bhagavad Gita, we just read that not long ago, 10.8, the first of the seed verses, Krishna says, I am the source of everything. So all these energies that are around us, Krishna says, I am the source of that. He says, everything emanates from me, like that. And once we know that, once we know all these energies come from Krishna, then the natural conclusion, which is in that verse also, says that, let's have a look, 10.8, I am the source of the spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So that should be the conclusion of knowing that all these energies come from Krishna. Once we know that it's Krishna who is the source of all these things that we are enjoying, really, isn't it? We're enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the air, the water. We can't live without these things. All the food, you like your gulab jamuns, but without Krishna, there's no
yeah.
gulabs. There's no gulabs without
Not
Krishna.
not
So,
not only the gulab, because today, because I'm leaving on Sunday, that Kolivinder's wife, she called me. She said she's gonna bring some sag and some roti.
oh,
Please come,
wonderful.
and
Oh,
yeah,
that's so
I
nice.
said okay. So she's bring some sag and roti. So
Yeah.
she bring 8 rotis, eight. And Kulvinder had one, and then after that he busy at work, and I finished with seven. And then whole bowl of sag and the extra ghee on the top. She put the ghee on the separate because sag was hot, and they put the ghee and get melt and just complete. And then she had
Wow.
a five element of the roti, like it has got a chana as well, and it's got a chickpea flour, like a five different they make the roti. And then I just had a seven of them. And not only
Wow.
gulab
Feast.
jamun, so anyone will offer, I just go
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And she said, because you're leaving on Sunday, I want to make a sag and roti. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So not only gulab jamun, you know, I can eat anything.
I know. I know. I know. I know. But just
So,
like we can understand, like sag and roti or gulabs, they don't exist alone. You know
yeah.
that someone's made them, isn't it?
Yes, yes, somebody has to make
And
it.
like if someone put these things in front of you, you would naturally ask, who made them? You wouldn't think they came automatically out of the thin air, would you? So whenever you see some energy like that, you can understand there's some intelligent person who has produced this like that. So just like you would be full of appreciation um, for Kulvinda and Meena, so in the same way we should be full of appreciation and gratitude for Krishna. He's ultimately supplying, everything. That
He's
the rotis are made from wheat. Where does wheat come from? Does the scientist make wheat? No, wheat was existing before. The sag, that's all growing from the earth. The scientist hasn't made the sag
all the
like that. It's
fruit and
all it's
everything.
all
Yeah,
coming from the earth. And
yeah,
Krishna says in second chapter text 5 that earth is one of my energies. He says
yeah.
the earth is
And
one of
then
my energies. So
without earth, you can't produce any fruit,
yeah, everything comes from the
anything
earth. And
mango.
Krishna
Yeah.
says, well, the earth comes from me. Krishna says the earth comes from me.
So
So how grateful we should be that Krishna's providing us all this food, nice rose flower to smell, everything like that is all coming from Krishna. Just like, like I said, you're very grateful for Meena and Kulvinda for doing that nice thing for you. So Krishna's doing that for us all the time. 24/7 Krishna's giving us nice things. So it should be a natural result that someone does devotional service once we understand that all these energies come from Krishna. He's giving so much to us, we should naturally think, well, he's giving me everything. What can I give to him? At least I can chant Hare Krishna and try to spread his glories and whatever he's giving to me, I offer it back to him. Isn't that our process? He's giving us the food. So out of gratitude, we offer the food back to him, and that's called the process of making prasadam. Someone might think it's a bit stupid, he's providing all the food, why give it back to him? So you're right. I mean, someone's right to say that. He doesn't need that food. It comes from him. He doesn't need it. But we offer it back to him not because he needs the food, but because it's just a way that we can show our love for him by giving him something.
and gratitude.
Yeah, just to show our gratitude. It's the love that matters, not
Thank you.
actually
Yeah,
what you're offering. Because
thank you.
there is nothing we can find that doesn't come from him.
Yeah,
You
everything
can't
comes from him.
find anything that he
That
doesn't already have.
it's when Queen Elizabeth was there, and that's her 98th birthday, and his grandson is Prince Harry, and he says that, Grandma, I can't buy anything for you because you got everything. What do I need? What can I buy for you? You got
Mm,
every single thing you can ever imagine.
mm,
Very hard for me to buy you a present
mm.
because the Queen of England, Queen
Yeah,
Elizabeth,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
got everything,
I know, yeah.
That's saying, Krishna, what can we give it? He's got
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. But it's the love that matters so much because even if that grandson writes a little card to the Queen
Yeah, just a
that
letter. Yeah,
I love you, Grandma, even if the language is not correct and the
and
spelt
that's
wrong
why
and everything like that, she's going to cherish that and she'll keep it on her mantelpiece for the rest of her
yeah.
life.
Like
And he's done
sometimes the
some little
kids,
funny pictures with just
yeah,
a simple smiley face and two eyes, and it
yeah.
doesn't even look very fancy, but she'll appreciate that from the
It's
love
like
of his heart. He's done that for
when
her.
the Mother's Day, the little kids like a little note for the Mother's Day.
Yeah,
They can't
Uh,
make anything, but like a little note
yeah,
and then picture
yeah,
and all that.
yeah,
It's good enough for mother.
yeah. And the card was provided by the parents. The
Yes,
pencils,
yes,
the felts were provided by the parents. So, but still, the parents are so touched by the
yeah.
child voluntarily with his love in his heart to give something of that back to the parents. Even the process for worshipping the Ganges, do you know what that is? What do you worship Ganges with?
Water.
Yeah,
The
with water
Ganges
from the
water
Ganges.
from the Ganges.
So the
Yes.
waters come from the Ganges and you offer it back to the Ganges.
Yeah.
And that's the process. That's the process. So It's the attitude that Krishna wants to see, that you have a humble service attitude like
Yeah.
that. Hang on, I'm just going to turn something off. Okay. We've just got a new bell for the front. So Jayanti's walking past and setting off the bell. Okay, so we'll read the verse text 19, 10:19. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Anta te katayashyami
Antate Katishyami
Divya hyatma vibhutaya
Divyatatma Vibhutya
Pradhanyata kuru shrestha
Pradhanyata Kuru Shrestha
Nastyanto vistarasya me.
Nastyanto Vistarantame. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestation, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna. For my opulence is limitless.
Mm. So Arjuna's asked to see his energies or opulences. But Krishna's saying here, yeah, I'll show you, but I can only show you a few of them because it's unlimited, right? Everything comes from God, so he can't show everything because it would take forever. So he's just going to point out a few of the, main ones or a few of the significant ones like that. Because he's saying here the ones that are prominent. So the prominent one he's going to point out, but he can't point out all of his energies or opulences because it's unlimited. Limitless.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's read the purport.
And then, the Bhagavad Gita happened that middle of the battlefield. They have got limited time. He can't tell everything.
Yeah, the time is limited also. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I just heard Prabhupada say that recently in a class. He said the conversation would have been not more than 1 hour. So this
See,
whole book.
what did I say from weeks and weeks and years? 1 hour class. Remember? I used to
Yeah.
say 1 hour class because
Yeah.
all the universities and all they have got a 59 minute 1 hour because there's a research shows after 1 hour your concentration getting low.
Yes, lose your
That's
attention.
why.
Yeah.
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 Anyway,
Yeah.
and then like this, everything is limited. Like
Mm.
life, we don't have unlimited life. So
Yeah.
opulence are unlimited, but everything is limited. Time is limited.
Yeah.
We got life
Yeah.
is limited.
But this is the best way to use our limited life, our limited time, is by hearing about Krishna. And that's actually, I forgot to mention about last week's one, that what's mentioned, Arjuna says, Arjunardhan, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So this is the nature of a devotee. He just loves hearing about Krishna. So, he hears about Krishna, tell me more, I want to know more, tell me more. So like I was talking about last week, greedy. So this is like a spiritual greed. Material greed is very bad for us. It's what entangles us. We want to try to please our body, our sense gratification. But the opposite is spiritual greed, where you want to hear more about Krishna, you want to chant Krishna's names more and more. And this is a healthy sign. This is a good sign. So like you say, materially, you're correct that people don't have an attention span, say more than 1 hour is like maximum, otherwise they get bored. But spiritually, that shouldn't be the case. If a devotee has a taste for hearing about Krishna and the devotee and the other devotee is good at glorifying Krishna, then if you got those two compatible persons there, one wants to hear and the other one's good at talking about Krishna, then that can go on and on and on. Like we know in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the conversation between Shukadeva Goswami, who was talking, and Parikshit Maharaj, the king, who was cursed to die in 7 days, he was hearing, and Parikshit Maharaj said to Shukadeva Goswami, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, and that went on for 7 days. And it said that the king, and also Shukadeva Goswami who was speaking, did not sleep, did not eat for 7 days. That's how much taste they had. Normally we have a taste for sleeping and eating. We love to sleep and we love to eat. But here we can see that these devotees' taste for hearing and chanting about Krishna was even more than eating and sleeping. So they sacrificed that. But you're correct, materially, people's attention span's very short. But yes, spiritually, once a devotee becomes advanced to a certain point where he's very attracted to hearing and chanting, then he
they are
can.
like a Shukadev Goswami, that's a different level. We are not
I
that
know. So we have
yeah,
limited
yeah,
capacity. But Arjuna is expressing that he just wants to keep hearing more and more. Of course, like you say, they're limited by the battlefield. The battle's going to start soon, so they
yeah.
can't be going on for days.
Nah,
I mean, they
nah.
could have kept talking for
Or
days,
they
but the
could
battle has to take place.
they could go up to 6 months for this Bhagavad Gita, and then they put everyone as asleep, and then after 6 months, and they think it's only 6 minutes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's a
yeah,
yoga maya, and the
yeah,
Krishna can put everyone asleep and then keep
yeah,
talking like for 5 months, 6 months, and then after that his maya goes off. People think, oh
yeah,
yeah, only for last 6 minutes he's talking.
yeah,
He
yeah.
can do that too. But anyway,
Yeah. Okay, so you can read the purport of today's 119.
yeah, it's not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The sense of individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affair. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appears to be devotee as a nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entity do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agreed to state only the principle of
Hey, Gulshan,
manifestations.
hold
Hmm.
on a sec. Gulshan, hold on. I've got to sort out something with the dog. Okay, sorry about that. All sorted.
It's okay. It's okay.
Where are we up to?
Yeah. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows the living entity do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agreed to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The world Pradhanyata principle is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of Supreme Lord, for his futures are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all, and Vibhuti, as used in the verse, referred to the opulence by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amara Kosa dictionary, it is stated that Vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. You want to read that or wait here?
No, you can finish it off here.
Okay. The impersonalist or pantheist. Who's pantheist?
Pantheist means someone who thinks there's many gods.
Okay.
There's monotheist. Monotheist means one god. So we are obviously monotheists.
Okay.
Theist means someone believing in God is called a theist. But it's either monotheist, there's one god, or pantheist, there's many gods. You know, like Hindus are often pantheists. They think there's many gods.
Yes.
Like that.
The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of his divine energies, both in the material world and in the spiritual world. His energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now the Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. Thus, part of his variegated energy is described in this way. A lot more in there.
So obviously God is unlimited and his energies are unlimited. And that creates a difficulty for us because we're not unlimited, we're very limited. So our comprehension, our understanding is only going to be just a tiny portion of his completeness. So Krishna knows that. Krishna knows that we don't have the capacity to understand him 100%. So he's going to just present a small portion of his energies, his opulences, that the common person can understand. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the purport, nearly at the beginning, that the senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. And that's obvious. So, I mean, we're so limited. Just like it's mentioned, the four defects of a conditioned soul. One is that our senses are imperfect. And an example of that is when our eyes see the sun, how big does the sun look? It only looks like a 50-cent piece in the sky. And we hear from the scientists that it's millions of miles wide. So obviously our senses, like our eyes, are not giving us the right information. So we're very limited. Another thing that Prabhupada would say is that when the sun goes down, our eyes don't work at all. You can't see anything. We can only see a little bit when the sun is in the sky. When it's dark, you can't see anything at all. So if something's very far away, we can't see it. If something's very close, also you can't see. Can you see the tip of your nose?
No.
Can you see your eyelid?
Yeah.
So yeah, things that are very far away, very close. And Krishna's in our heart, but we can't see him, like that. So we're so limited like that. So how is it going to work that we understand God if we're so limited in that way? It's explained that Krishna cannot be perceived through the material senses. However, if the senses become purified by service, which begins with the tongue, with service which begins with the tongue, then we may be able to perceive Krishna. So that's very interesting. So it's first of all saying we can't perceive God with our material senses. However, if we serve God, Krishna, with the senses beginning with the tongue, first of all, we have to serve with the tongue. When he's pleased, the idea is when God becomes pleased by our service, then he may reveal himself. So that's how it happens. We can't directly understand God, but if we try to serve God, when he's pleased by our service, then out of his mercy and kindness and love for us, he may reveal himself to us. And why the tongue? Well, what does the tongue do? Two things. What two things does the tongue do?
Eating and chanting.
Yeah, so it can vibrate, talk, and it can eat. So how do we serve Krishna with our tongue? Well, we eat
Just
prasadam. We should eat
and
only food that's offered to Krishna.
kirtan.
And talk about Krishna like what we're doing. We're talking about Krishna and also chant his holy names.
Yeah.
So we can chant his names, or like now we're talking about his glories and his pastimes and so forth. Bhagavad Gita is one of his pastimes. So yeah, this is how we serve Krishna with our tongue, by talking about him and chanting his holy names, and by honoring his prasadam, his foodstuffs offered to him. And that way that the tongue becomes purified, and by his mercy, Krishna can appear on our tongue.
So
Like Prabhupada said, when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is dancing on your tongue.
when you hear that, our ears are also purified. Like when you hear that
Definitely, definitely.
kirtan, yeah.
But see why it says beginning with the tongue. First of all, you chant first, and then you're going to hear that, right? So which comes
Mm.
first, chanting or hearing? You chant, and then
Chanting,
you're
yeah.
going to hear that.
Yeah.
So someone's chanting, so
Yes.
the tongue is vibrating the Krishna's holy
Shravanam.
name, and then you
Shravanam.
hear Shravanam. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
So this is the first sense we want to be using in Krishna's service, taking prasadam. And we see, like with the Bhakti tree, it was so successful that once people started to take prasadam at the Bhakti tree, then they become purified, isn't it? So many become purified. In the beginning, we had hardly anyone coming on a Friday night for kirtan. But people started coming for the restaurant stuff, coming
Mm.
for eating. And then once they started eating, they started to get an interest to come on Friday night for kirtan. Even on Friday night, remember, we had um, chanting, I think from 6 till 7, and then dinner was served at 7. In the beginning, most people just turned up at 7 onwards in the beginning.
Mm.
Then after they got purified by taking prasadam, then they started to come earlier. Okay, we'll come 10 to 7, quarter to 7, 6:30, 6. So then eventually we had people even coming before we started. They didn't want to miss out on anything. Like looking at that previous verse, they had developed a taste. They developed a taste for hearing and chanting. So they even came, we had people waiting in the very beginning, even before we started chanting, they'd be sitting on the mat, sitting at the chairs, and waiting for it to start. But in the beginning, it wasn't like that. In the beginning, hardly anyone was there for chanting, and the devotees were there, but none of the other people hardly were there. They just came for the food. But after the tongue was purified by prasadam, then they developed a taste for chanting. And then when they developed a taste for chanting, then we had some, as you know, came to the Saturday night. We started the soul searching. So then they started to get an interest in, hearing the philosophy and different things. And some came to the farm also, some came to the farm like that. So one thing led to another thing, led to another thing like that. But it all started with them taking prasadam with the tongue and then chanting like that. And then things develop from there. So this is the beginning of how we serve God. We serve God in the beginning with our tongue. Very wonderful process and very simple. As Prabhupada pointed out, all you need to be Krishna conscious is a tongue and ears. You don't need money. You don't have to be highly educated. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be born in a pious family or anything like that. All you need is a tongue to chant and ears to hear. That's all you need. And to take prasadam, you need like that. Even if someone is blind, they can become Krishna conscious. But if they didn't have a tongue, then that would be problematic.
There was a one devotee. He's called a Surdas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was blind, and then people was telling, like, you come into temple and you can't even see the step and you fall and all that. And he says, I can't see the step, but Krishna can see I'm coming. So he can see that. That's why I'm coming. And then even he can even tell that address before even the curtains open. What did you put the Krishna's?
Right.
Yeah. And then one day, what they did, the pujari has a game with him. They didn't dress Krishna. And this says that, Surdas, what color did we put on the Krishna's the dress? And I want to say in Hindi, he said that, my Thakur nang dhadang, means my Thakur is naked at the moment.
Wow.
And then they get shocked. He said, my curtains are there and he's blind. How did he know that?
Yeah, spiritual vision. This is the Divya Chakshus.
Yeah, so they didn't put anything in this.
So that's what I mean. This is how it works, that we can perceive God, not through these material senses, but when Krishna is pleased by our humble service, he reveals himself to us through spiritual senses.
Yes.
This is amazing. This is the actual process of how we can realize God. So even someone that does like humble service, like sweeps the floor of the temple, cleans the pots, they can become very purified because Krishna's pleased by their humble service. I mean, in ISKCON, that's very common. The first service given to a new person is to wash the pots.
Yeah.
Just some humble service. But just by that humble service, one slowly is developing the right service attitude, a humble service attitude. And then Krishna's pleased and he reveals himself. So you can become highly enlightened in Krishna consciousness just by being a pot washer for Krishna, or a floor cleaner for Krishna, or whatever like that. And but it's not automatic. Of course, if you wash the pots and clean the floor and you don't become humble, then that's a waste of time, really. I mean, it's not a waste of time, but it's very unfortunate, because the main purpose of doing that service is to try to develop a right service attitude to Krishna. If you don't get the service attitude, then you've somehow you haven't connected the dots. You've like missed the boat.
Yeah, it's like I've got a few friends. I took it to temple, and then I said, look, if you had a prasadam and if you don't do any service, that means you are creditor to Krishna. And then Krishna knows how to take his credit back. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
So you have to do something in return. Either you put some money in there, like 20, $30, $50, something like that, or wash the pots or clean the toilet. Something you have to do in return if you have a prasadam. Don't just have a free prasadam and walk away. You become your creditor of Krishna. So
Yes.
I tell, say, do some service. Something you do, clean the tables, whatever you can, or
Yeah.
donation. Either way, you have to do. You can't just eat prasadam and walk away.
Yes.
Well, everybody has a different way of thinking.
But no, that was very good that you said that, because
Yeah,
that's
I
what
tell
we want to
everyone.
try to help people
Yeah,
to come to that point from the very beginning to
yeah.
develop that
It's
nice service attitude.
if you Aussie are talking there and I say the same thing. He said, okay, where are the pots? I said, come, wash the pots. Big
Yeah.
pots, yeah, do something. You
Yeah.
can't just have prasadam and walk away because they don't know what is it. And like, I took them to
Yeah.
inside the temple and they're looking there and never heard Hare Krishna or anything.
Yeah.
And then so look, you have to do something in return. He said,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
either donate
Even
or
even more, even Jayanti was saying that how her sister came to Krishna consciousness, that in the beginning it was just that after working the whole week, her and her husband very tired, and it was made it easy for them just to go to the temple on Sunday and get a free meal. And you don't have to cook that day, and it's also, of course, the prasadam is very tasty. So that became their regular habit every Sunday, go to the temple, and they would just go there and eat prasadam and leave. But after doing that for many times, they eventually thought that, well, every time we're coming and taking prasadam, we should give something.
yeah.
So then they started to do some service at the temple. And that's when they came to Krishna
Yeah.
consciousness, was after they started to,
Mm.
do that
That's right.
service.
Even visiting a temple, like if you visit someone's home, you take something, either fruit or sweets or something. Same way, if you're visiting temple, take something. You're visiting
Yeah,
there. When you
yeah.
visit to your sister or brother, you take a cake or a
Mm.
fruit or something, or sweets. But if you go to a temple, you don't take anything. How come? You should have to. If you're visiting to your brother, you take something, or sister. When you're visiting temple, take something. A bottle of milk, anything. You're visiting there. So it's just a little gratitude. That
Yes.
yeah, I remember that one day I came there in Bhakti Tree. On that time, I used to have a cafe. I
Mm.
used to come Friday evening. Or that day, I
Mm.
start cafe at 6 o'clock and I
Mm.
finish at 6. 12 hours, I stand there and there was short staff. And I did 12-hour shift, standing there, barely sit down, half an hour for lunch. And I did
Yeah,
order the milk and all these things. By the time I get there, 6:30 to there, 6:30 or 7 o'clock, I reached to the Bhakti Tree
yeah, yeah.
and I was exhausted. And I sit down with David and Dana used to come there.
Yes,
And
yes,
then,
yes.
yeah, I sit down with them. He said, how are you doing? How's your cafe? Just maybe 1 or 2 minutes. And you came here and asked me that. And then they asked me that, how was the day? I said, I'm exhausted. 12 hours. I stood there, stand there 12 hours making a coffee. I just sit down and just now. And then I just say that. And within a minute, you came. He said, Gulshan, come on, distribute the dal. I just stand up and distribute the dal. You do not know my 12-hour shift. And then,
Yeah,
but you think, I do all the time, but that day I was exhausted. And
yeah.
then David said, then I stand up and when they're distributing dal, David said, you said a minute ago you was exhausted. Where this whole energy come from? I said, nah, I
Yeah, I
have to do
remember
it.
that was your regular spot in the
Yeah,
serving line, was serving the
yeah,
dal, yeah. From
yeah.
that, remember that big black pot? That big
Yes,
black
yes.
heated
Yeah.
pot, yeah.
And then I always
That
tell him
was your
Dada.
position there.
And then Saturday I bring in the milkshakes and all that. It was a good time.
That's right, yeah,
It
yeah,
was a
yeah.
good time. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's time is gone, and
Yeah, and
now we
then
are
and
here.
then we see the result. You came to Krishna consciousness
Yeah.
because you develop that service attitude, then Krishna's pleased, and then he enlightens you. Like
Krishna's
then that's your
mercy.
favorite verse, 10,
Yes,
10. When
yes,
you serve him constantly with love, then he gives
yeah.
you the understanding by which you can come to
That's
him.
that's right. Yeah,
So then that's how, Krishna reveals himself to the devotee when he's pleased by their service.
And then
Even we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Prabhupada explains the meaning of the mantra is that, oh Hare, energy of the Lord, oh Krishna, oh Lord, please engage me in your service. He said that chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is a prayer for service. We're praying, please give me some service. So that's the meaning. So if we do all the rituals of the activities of Krishna consciousness, but we don't develop the right humble service attitude, then
best
we've
service attitude.
missed the boat.
Who's got a best service attitude? Sikh people.
Radharani.
Sikh
Huh?
people, Sikh, Gurdwara, Sikh
Oh,
people,
Sikh.
Oh, they have got all over the world in their Gurdwaras. They distribute the meal, but all the time, their service attitude is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's famous all over the world. Any Gurdwara you go, there's a langar, like they call the prasadam there. And it's the Guru's prasadam, and then they distribute anywhere. The first thing they teach their kid to serving the prasadam. Little kid, very little age, they teach him that serving. It's a service attitude.
I mean, some people have a service attitude, but it's not directed towards God. So eventually it has to reach God. I mean, we would hope if they have a service attitude to the poor people, to the sick people, to the animals or whatever, then eventually they can have the service attitude towards God. And that's when it reaches perfection, when it reaches that point, to when it reaches Krishna.
It's like when I cook something, I've got a photo of Prabhupada. And when I offer the Prabhupada, then from Prabhupada it's reached to Krishna.
Yes.
So it was same thing. They offer the prasadam to their guru. From the guru, it's reached to the divine. From there, it's
Govinda. He's a devotee of Govinda.
That's right. So which is good, And when I cook in my van, I find people around that, anyone around there. I said, come and eat. And then they were first they shocked. And after that, I said, look, I just cook here. Come and eat. Paneer sabji and some roti. There's one lady, she was in the wheelchair with the carer. I just call him. I said, come, have you eat something? And then they said, oh, really? I said, yeah. And then I just put another chair, the carer was there, and then she was in the wheelchair. I gave some prasadam and some roti and some that paneer sabji and all that. And they says, that's good you offer us, because the carer says, I forgot my phone and I can't even order the food. I was thinking to order that Uber Eat. And I don't have a phone. And see, God designed it. God knows. God can see. You don't have a phone. And then I just came to you, have some prasadam. And then after that, I didn't see him again. It's okay. That's fine. Anywhere I go.
You planted the seed of bhakti.
Eventually, they will come back. It's an offering. Whenever I cook, I look around. Anyone there, does not matter if the devotee, non-devotee, any Muslim, Sikh, or Christian, anyone there. Have some prasadam. So the Prabhupada philosophy, when you cook that, just outside, anyone hungry, please come.
And that's called samadashana. Samadashana means equal vision. You have to see everyone as a spirit soul. It doesn't matter their bodily designation.
Once that we celebrated Brett's 40th birthday. It was 2019. And then I call his family all coming there, and we make it there special drinks and food and all that. I was too busy serving them. On that time, Dev Hari was there and Vishwambar. And then they stopped me. He said, man, leave some for the staff as well. I said, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I would just serve all to the table. They're just too busy serving there. I said, eat that, try this, try that. And then this is mine. Leave some for the staff. I said, oh, okay, I didn't know that. I said, if staff doesn't eat, your guests eat, that's better. But,
well, that's the culture. You feed the guests.
Feed the guests. That's it.
And then if the family misses out, that's tough luck.
That's okay. That's okay. Like if that's
the sacrifice. And that's purifying. Like that, you give your
great. Even give it all your share. Like you can see the happiness on their face when they are eating all that. His ex-wife came. His 3 sons came. His mom, his dad, his sisters. All the Saunders family was there. And then,
nice.
it was very nice there. But I don't come anymore. but it's a
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just too busy. Serving is a great thing,
Yeah.
When you serve, you just get a sometime feeling inside, like, yes, once you serve it, you're satisfied. Even if you don't eat, you're full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're satisfied. What a feeling.
And you know
Even
why
if,
that is? Because that is the nature of the soul, to give service.
yeah,
We're made, the soul
yeah,
is made to give service.
yeah,
Because
that's it.
we're the part of Krishna. So what is the function of the part? Is to serve the whole. And Prabhupada gives the example, just like the hand is part of the body. What's the purpose of the hand? To put
To
food in the
serve the
mouth, to
body.
serve the whole body.
Yeah.
If you cut
Right.
the hand off the body, and then it's useless. There's no value whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's only has a value when it's connected to the whole and giving service.
If you think in the temple, when you serve in the prasadam, a lot of people there, you're serving. After that, you don't feel hungry. You
Yeah.
feel full.
Yeah.
You're satisfied. I mean,
Yes.
it's yes, fine. If I don't even eat that, I'm okay. I feel
Yeah.
that, Sam. Like, in the beginning, yes, you were, 12 o'clock, yes, you were hungry. Once you start serving, become 1:30, 2 o'clock, you just feel like, done. It's just some people see it there and you're not hungry anymore because it's satisfaction to serving.
Yeah.
It's good, actually.
Mm. Mm.
That's the life.
So like I was saying, that we can't perceive Krishna with our material senses, but when he's pleased by our service, then he reveals himself. So let's look at an example of that, which is coming in the next chapter, which is the universal form, where where Arjuna asked Krishna, to see the universal form.
Yeah.
And then Krishna says there that you can't see it with your eyes, so I give you divine eyes. I'll give you divine eyes. So let's just look at that. Just finding that verse.
Divine chakshu.
Yeah. Here you go. Text 8. So 11th chapter,
11.
text 8.
Okay. But you cannot see me with your present eyes, therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence.
So yeah, this is the process, very important to understand. You can't see God, but you should act in such a way that God will want to see you. And Prabhupada's Guru Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, this was a very important part of the philosophy that he taught, which is called Drig Drisha Vichar. Drig Drisha Vichar. So it means the philosophy, Vichar, of the seer and the seen. So someone is seeing and someone is being seen. So the question is, okay, you've got us, the soul, and you've got God, the supreme soul. Which one of us is the seer and which one of us is being seen?
It's like how to explain it? It's one is like the soul in a body. It's a seer. He is seeing everything, what's going through, because that's the part and parcel of Krishna. And whatever we see in our eyes is a seer.
But like I said, the eyes are so limited. What can we see?
Yeah.
We can't see something close, something far away. If it's dark, we can't see.
Yeah.
Actually, we are the seen.
Okay, not the seer.
Krishna is the seer. Krishna is the seer.
So it's like
what we should desire is, I want to be seen by Krishna. When will Krishna like to see me? When I'm doing service. If I'm doing service, then he will be attracted by that service. He will want to see me. If Krishna sees me, then that's the perfection of my life. Then that's the perfection of life. Then by his mercy, he may allow me to see him. But first of all, we want him to see us. Not that
Okay.
first I want to see him. Like many people will say, show me God. I want to see God. And you, Hare Krishnas, are saying that Krishna is God. Well, I'm not going to believe until I can see him.
Prove it. Yeah.
So you show me God. I want to see God. But actually, that's not our process. We're not the seer. We want to act in such a way that Krishna will want to see us. When will he want to see us? Is when we do some service for him. And then he'll be pleased. And then he may, like here, give us the divine eyes so that we can see him.
Yeah, that's a very good example for that is when Prabhupada says that there's another hand come out of my hand, that's the one right.
Say
Okay,
it again.
so Prabhupada says, somebody asks that, Prabhupada, where do you get all these energies? You wrote the books and all that. He says, I'm not writing. There's another hand come out of my hand. That's the one writing your books. You can't see, but I can see. So that's the hand is wrote the books and everything, not me. So it's like that hand only Prabhupada can see because the Krishna gave Prabhupada as a divine eyes to see, divine eyes to see that hand. Like that Krishna gave a divine eyes to my mom to see that, the Charan Darshan, there's another feet come out of that in Baki Bihari temple only once in a year. So Krishna gave it my mom as like a divine eyes to see because other people are there. There's where they can't see that. But my mom see clearly. There's a third leg come out of it. The Krishna gave that divine eyes to see. And then, but only give divine eyes if you can see if you're doing a service. And like Prabhupada was doing a service. So Krishna gave the Prabhupada the divine eyes. That's why the tears fall out the sideways. It's not a Prabhupada, that's Krishna.
Yeah.
Krishna is the one.
And doing service means love is there.
Yeah.
Service means love.
Definitely.
Love means service. Service means love. It's the same thing. So that's the sign of that we're developing love for Krishna when we have that attitude of service. And Krishna's pleased that we're developing love for him. And then he may reveal himself to us. He may enlighten us in our heart, help us come towards him. So that's the process of bhakti. And it's very powerful. Bhakti is it said bhakti is the only way to understand God.
Yes.
Only through bhakti. No other way.
No other way.
You have to develop love for God. Only then can you understand God.
Yeah.
Because remember, the understanding of God doesn't come from me. It comes from God.
Yeah,
and he gives it to us. It's his mercy.
It's his mercy.
Even you're a PhD, a great scholar, or whatever, that doesn't mean anything to understand God.
Even if you do service for 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, if he gives a mercy after 30 years of your service, okay, he gives her 30 years. You're not going to get, you're up to him. You can't say, I'm doing 10 years service. I can't see his mercy. I can't. Well, it's not up to you. It's up to him.
Yeah.
Maybe he give you next
life. And then that's the meaning of mercy. You don't have any control.
No.
Mercy means the person may give, he may not give. It's up to them.
No expectations.
You can't demand it. You can't make it come. It's just if the superior person, the authority, gives it.
It's same thing. It's love cannot be demand. Like you can't say the girl, you love me. Either you can't under the stick, you're under the put the gun on the head, love me. It's not a love.
Yeah.
That's the ruling. You cannot. Love is just so free. It comes by itself. It's for the horse. When you control the horse, it doesn't get controlled. And then after that, you just stand down next to the horse, and slowly he's gonna come to you under your control. There's a very tricky way to control the horse. Love is the only way to control. Under the stick is not a love. That's what they say. if you want to win someone, you cannot win someone with a gun. No way. Only win with the love.
Yeah.
With the gun, you can rule that person, rule the country, but you cannot win him.
Mm.
Win will be only possible in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Krishna is only, if you say love, only one word is there. How do you define the love? One word, Krishna. If somebody
Yes.
says, what is the, can you define the
Well,
love?
just like he's the source of the earth and the water and the fire, he's also the source of love.
Yes, 100%.
He's the source of everything.
Yes, 100%. So, and then
there's one book, there's one small book that Prabhupada produced in the very beginning called Krishna, the Reservoir of Pleasure. So he's like, reservoir means like an ocean. So he's like the ocean of pleasure. But he's an ocean of love, ocean of, he's just unlimited everything.
Mercy, even ocean of mercy. Yes, he is.
Kripa Sindhu.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Kripa Sindhu, that's the thing. It's up to him when, up to him. Where, up to him. He chooses the spot, he chooses the place, he chooses the time, and he chooses the quantity, everything he. Us, we not. Like, whenever it's going to happen. It could be like, that's the guy, when you say that, it's somebody was that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disciple. He said, you got to get liberated in, how many years? And he said, Mukunda. Yes. He said, Jai. He said,
10 million lifetimes. Yeah.
Okay.
He said 10 million lifetimes. Then he said, Mukunda can see me in 10 million lifetimes. And he was going, Haribol, Jai, Jai, Jai. And then as soon as he said that, Lord Chaitanya was pleased by his response, that he was very patient to wait whatever it took to get his darshan, whatever it took, he was satisfied with that. Punishment, he accepted the punishment given by the Lord. Then Lord Chaitanya said, I'll bring him immediately. He can come now. So he didn't have to wait 10 million lifetimes, but Krishna was testing. Right. Krishna's testing what is your determination? What is how patient you are to get my mercy? How determined you are? How enthusiastic you are? And then if you are enthusiastic, patient, determined, you tick all the boxes, then okay, immediately you can get like that.
That's there was a similar story of that one, like a Narad Muni was like, always Narayan and all. And there was a one devotee, he seen that, and he get jealous. He said, wow, he's doing the bhakti as well. How good the bhakti is. And then Narayan says, no, he's not my bhakta. He said, what do you mean? He's sitting under the tree. He said, go and have a test. So he went there and he said that, I'm a messenger of Narayana. He's saying that, praying that. So Narayana decided to give you a darshan. He said, oh, really? When? He says, around 10,000 years. He said, go away. 10,000 years. Who's going to wait 10,000 years for darshan? I mean, you're just a bluff master. You're bluffing. Go away. Okay, Narad Muni went there. And then Narayan said that there's one bhakta that's a farmer right on the farm. He is my true devotee. He said, go and test him. So he went there. He says, you must be doing the bhakti 10, 20 hours. He said, 10, 20 hours? Who's going to do this farming? I've got a wife and children. He said, when you do bhakti, he said, whenever my wife brings some meal and sit down under the tree after lunch and then maybe a few minutes or so. And then he said, I came from Narayana. And then he says, he's going to give you darshan. He says, darshan, and he starts jumping. And he said, listen to me. He said, doesn't matter. He said, darshan. He said, how many leaf in that tree? That many lifetime you have to go through his darshan. He says, what a Kripa Sindhu Narayana is, he only count one tree. I was agreeing with the whole earth tree with their leaves. That many lifetime are still happy with that. How merciful is that? He just say one tree only. So he said, that's true bhakta. He's jumping there. Wow. Like, that many lifetime I'll get the darshan. He said, what a merciful. He said, one tree only. I'm happy with the whole tree of the universe. even
Yeah.
of that. So that's the true way. But that's
Yeah.
similar story you said that he's jumping.
Whatever it takes, that should be our attitude. Whatever it
Yeah.
takes for me to come under the Lord's lotus feet, whatever it takes.
Very important. Yeah.
So let's look at that verse, which is evidence, Krishna
Yeah.
himself saying that only by bhakti he can be understood. 1855.
Yeah.
So the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, 1855.
Yeah. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service, and which one in full conscious of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Yeah.
So that's clear. That's
Yeah.
clear. There's no other way to understand Krishna, God, other than through bhakti. One may be doing, karma yoga, jnana yoga, this thing, that thing, but eventually one has to come to the point of engaging in devotional service like that, which means love. One has to come to the point of, like I said, that humble service attitude. That's the main thing. And not only ISKCON is the only place to get that. I mean, ISKCON is Prabhupada set up ISKCON to help develop that bhakti very quickly, very powerfully. ISKCON is set up, that's the only thing ISKCON is doing. Everything is bhakti in ISKCON. So it's a very powerful, organization, institution for help us develop that. But still, bhakti you can see in many places. But Prabhupada set it up that it's very condensed in ISKCON, very condensed, very concentrated. That from early in the morning, like Prabhupada set up that you have Mangal Arati at 4:30 in the morning and continuous bhakti right through the whole day till, after 9 o'clock at night when there's Shayan Arati at 9 o'clock. So the devotees' whole full engagement in bhakti from morning to night. So Prabhupada has set it up such concentrated bhakti. So, but somehow or other, this is where we need to come to if we want to understand God through bhakti. But like I said, doing all these activities, the idea that the chanting is going to help us develop a proper service attitude to Krishna, that preaching is going to help us develop a proper service attitude, that the prasadam distribution is going to help us develop the service attitude. That's the idea, to develop that service attitude. But if you do all the things, all the artis and pujas and classes and everything, but you don't develop the service attitude, then that's very unfortunate. Then that's very unfortunate. One time, one of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's disciples asked him in a class, "We see that so many of your disciples have done so much service, so many classes, so much chanting japa, so many kirtans, so much preaching." But he said, but they still don't seem very advanced in Krishna consciousness. How is that possible, even after so much service? And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, they have intestinal worms. So what does that mean? Like, even you eat very good food, your roti, sak, and gulab jamun, very nice fatty food. But if you have worm in your guts, then you won't be getting the nourishment. It's all going to the worm is consuming everything. So what is that an analogy to? Intestinal worm means material desires. If we have in our heart material desires, means like you want name, fame, recognition, adoration, distinction from the public, powerful position or whatever like that, then these are like worms, and they devour all the good results we're getting out of
They'll
our
eat all the
chanting and
they'll eat all the
classes, and
bhakti. They'll
yeah,
eat all
they
the
gobble it
bhakti. Yeah.
up. So like that. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, we have to remove these things from our heart. We have to remove these things from our heart.
It's a similar
And
like when
there's a story with Jesus. Oh, yeah, just a sec. There's a story with Jesus that one man was like, he was eating so much food in that, but he was always skinny and getting more skinny, more skinny, more skinny. And so he was brought to Jesus, and Jesus said to him, "You fast for 1 month and then come back to me." And the other disciples thought, "What? He's already skinny, and you're telling him to stop eating." But anyway, they had some faith. They had some faith. Well, he's the son of God and everything. So he came back to him after 1 month, and then he said, "You put a honey on a spoon in front of his nose, but he's not allowed to eat it." I mean, come on, that's like too much. First of all, can't eat for a month.
yeah,
And then you're tempting him by putting such a nice
yeah,
food like honey, but he's not allowed to eat it.
yeah.
It's just put in front of his mouth, in front of his nose.
That's a torture.
One big worm came out of his mouth, and Jesus grabbed the worm and pulled it out, and then killed it. So what it was, not only the man was fasting, but the parasite was fasting.
Yes.
And then the parasite was so hungry, and then smelt the honey and couldn't resist. So the parasite came out because very hungry to get the honey, and then Jesus killed it. So it's like that with all this lust and greed and envy and stuff in our hearts, pride. We have to rip it out. Somehow we have to rip it out. And this process is set up to help us to remove these things. And the chanting is actually helping us, but we also have to make a conscious effort. We have to make a conscious effort. Like Lord Chaitanya said in his Shikshastaka, he left 8 verses. The third verse is, he's giving us the clue how we can perfect our chanting and chant constantly. He said we have to be more humble than the grass, more tolerant than a tree, give all respect to others, and don't expect any respect in return. In such a state of mind, one can always chant the holy name. So this is like the criteria for staying in Krishna consciousness and developing our Krishna consciousness, becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness, that we need to be very humble and very tolerant, very respectful, and don't expect, recognition and fame and fortune, all these kind of expectations we have. We have to rip these out of our mind, out of our heart, because they are hurting us. They're just like devouring. These material desires are like devouring all the good work that we do. So, we need to be very careful about these things. So when we talk about Maya, this is what it means, that we're Maya, that we're, have all these material desires and so many things, material attachments like that. So Krishna will help, and that's why he's appeared in the form of the holy name to help us remove these things. But we also need to be, like I say, conscious of that these things are in the heart, and I don't want them. Well, one time it was very interesting. Prabhupada addressed a whole bunch of his sannyasi disciples, and he said to them, he asked them a question: "Why do you have sex desire?" Which is sort of unexpected because, I mean, by definition, you'd think a sannyasi means you've finished with sex desire. But he knew they're all young men. They were at that time. See, normally sannyas would be given after you've been a grihasta, So you've retired, the kids are grown up, then you become a sannyasi maybe at 70 years old or something, 60 or 70, whatever. Like Prabhupada became a sannyasi he would have been about
50 something.
58, I think 55, 58, Prabhupada took sannyas.
Yeah.
But these were like 20, 22, 25, like that, 26, and they were sannyas. So Prabhupada knew they still had, sex desire. And so he asked that question, why are you affected by sex desire? And they're all like stunned. What am I going to say about that? Because they know in their heart that's what's there. And they can't hide it like that from Prabhupada. But they couldn't really, why? What's the answer? Why? And Prabhupada said, because you want to be. You want to be affected by it, So whatever we have in our heart, it's like, it's there because we want it there. You have greed in your heart because you want it there. You have lust in your heart because you want it there. You have envy in your heart because you want it there. So that's very interesting, because then somehow if we can develop a desire that I don't want that rubbish there, then we can actually remove it. But as long as you want it there, how are you going to remove it, right?
No.
Even Krishna is not going to remove it if you want it there.
If you want it, yeah.
Krishna is going to remove it if you don't want it there. Because Krishna knows, right? He's in our heart too.
Yeah.
Krishna knows that you want to be lusty. So, well, I'm not going to take it out because you want it. You want to be greedy. So I'm not going to remove it. But if you say to Krishna sincerely, I don't want this lust anymore. I don't want the greed. I don't want the anger. I don't want the pride. I don't want the envy. Then Krishna will take it out, So, I mean, I'm just saying that, yeah, Krishna can do a lot, but we also have a part to play. Because Krishna, it is said he's known as Bhava Grahi Janardhan. So one of his names is Janardhan, means he's a maintainer of everyone, the people, Jana. Then he knows what's in your heart. So he's seeing what's in your heart. So if you're a sincere devotee and you want to remove all the junk, then he'll help you. But if you're holding on to these things and you're externally making a show that you're a devotee or whatever like that, I'm a sannyasi, a temple president, a GBC or whatever, and then you're pretending to be big devotee, but internally in your heart you're holding on to all I want power and fame and wealth and everything. And Krishna, Krishna might give you what you want. He might give you the, fame and recognition and power and everything, but you're not going to get the real thing. It means he's not going to give you the pure bhakti. Like we said with Suradas, Suradas, he got the pure bhakti.
Yeah.
Actually, Suradas, he knew his weakness was his eyes because he was attracted to the woman. So he plucked out his own eyes. I thought he had another name.
No. He was born
different.
Okay. Surdas was born blind.
Yeah.
Oh, born blind. Okay. So in the case with Bilvamangala Thakur, he knew his weakness was lust, and it was getting him attraction for the opposite sex, and he knew it was interfering with his bhakti. So he was so sincere, he plucked out his eyes. So we're not recommending anyone to do that. But still, it just shows the principle that, we have to take some steps, some effort to remove the weeds like that, these obstacles there. And then Krishna, Krishna was coming to Bilvamangala Thakur every day and bringing him prasadam and everything and helping him. Krishna would lead him where he wanted to go. Krishna was holding his hand and taking him wherever Bilvamangala wanted to go. And then Krishna was playing games with him like that. One day playing games, and Bilvamangala Thakur, he didn't know that the boy that was taking him and feeding him, he didn't know that it was Krishna. But one day he realized that this is Krishna, and Krishna escaped from him. And Bilvamangala Thakur said, You can run away from me outside, but you can't escape from me in my heart. You can't escape.
The Chaurashtakam.
I have, and he wrote one beautiful bhajan, Chaurashtakam. Chaurashtakam. Chaur means thief, and 8 verses about. So he addressed Krishna as a chora, as a thief.
Yes.
Because he's famous, right, for Makhan Chor, for stealing the butter and everything like that, and
Stealing the gopis' dresses.
stealing the gopis' dresses and so forth like that. But he said that
So
I have captured the thief in my heart, and I'm not going to let you go.
So that's why we are the part and parcel of Krishna. That's why we have got a stealing potency in our heart.
Don't take advantage of that.
No, actually, there is the one. I was looking at a house close to my van. They have got a curry leaf, and when I make khichdi, I need a curry leaf.
Yeah.
And then I was looking there, and I said, Abhay Prabhu says, look, you can't steal. And I was looking that my inside. They said, look, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's just a tree, you just take few leaves, doesn't matter. And I was just thinking, and a lady come out of that house. And I asked her, I said, do you know this tree is? She's Filipino lady. She said, I don't know. It's just growing. Yeah, it's just a weed growing in there.
Oh, wow.
I said, look, you know what? This is a curry leaf. Do you mind if I can take some? She said, you can take a whole tree. I said, no. She said, because it's useless to me, which she was saying. And I said, no, it's actually very useful. But she's Filipino. She got no idea. And then she said, anytime you want to, you can feel free to take a branch from here.
See, Gulshan, that's exactly the way you should do it. And then they get the blessings. They get the mercy from voluntarily, consciously giving.
Regardless, if she doesn't come out, I still steal anyway. And then after that, a few times she become my Uber rider as well. A few times I've seen that his call come. I said, oh, same house. And then
because she gave that curry leaf to you, that qualified her to get more association with the devotee.
Maybe, yeah, that's right. And then she became Uber rider. She said, oh, you're the curry leaf. And I said, yeah, you can take as much as you like. I said, oh, okay, thank you. Because there's one in the Bhakti tree backyard as well. But there is one close to my van.
Yeah, I planted that. That there.
Okay. So one is close to my van. I can see that. And I said, wow, that's full of flourish. I said, well, that's perfect for doing that chum in there. And the khichdi, when I make that curry leaf, is great.
Yes. Yeah.
So every time I take any curry I make, just take curry leaf from there. Simple. Yeah. So nice. Krishna arranged all that.
Yes.
Because Krishna knows that I'm offering to him anyway. It's not mine. Yes. Krishna, okay, allowed.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But now it's actually September come. I'm going to go to the same street with the mulberry.
Mulberry, yes. Yeah, I remember those mulberries. Somehow or other, they don't grow very well here. I've tried, and they don't produce nice fruits like that.
You know why? Because there is one male and one female. Female produce more. Maybe you're growing male.
No, it's giving fruit, but they're all dry and shriveled up, and then not those ones there are so big and juicy.
I think it's the weather.
The weather is obviously not suitable for them. But Australia is perfect for growing the mulberry as well.
There's one mulberry tree in New Gokula as well. There's a 2-3 in New Gokula.
Yes.
And then
more than one.
Yeah, more than 2 or 3. I think the Indian comes and they try to take the raw ones, and then Kalya Prabhu just
what a waste. Yeah, they don't know.
Sign there is when it's just black, then you can take that. Don't take the pink one. It's raw. But Indian, doesn't listen.
Talking
to Indian look like they're talking to him. They're talking to brick wall. Same thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, there is one sitting next to you anyway. Indian. I'm one of them anyway. But no, cheating propensity, it's in there. So, but I don't steal for millions of dollars. Just a curry leaf from there, just to make a curry.
I know. It's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. But see, other people might take it as a big deal. Like if you go into someone's personal property and they're thinking, this is my property, this is my plant, my blah, blah, blah.
This one
and
is
they get upset. And in America, if you did it in America, they might shoot you.
Yes.
So you don't want to take risk. Right,
And this tree,
because
the
it happens.
branches was coming all the way to the street. Means there
Yeah,
was the
if that happens, it
root.
was hanging over the street. then
Oh,
it's-
the street, it's just like, and then like, there's a one tree in Giles' house, but all the branches of the white flower, like a frangipani, and they come all the
Yeah.
way out there all on the street. So you can
Yeah.
pick up some frangipani and then take it to offer to Krishna,
Sure,
because
sure.
the branches are all the way to the street.
Mm.
You're not going someone's front yard to collect those flowers, which is fair enough.
We've been in
Anyway.
touch with Gail a bit recently. She's just come back from a trip to Japan.
I
She just
see.
went to Japan and just come back from there.
Mhm.
And yeah, we've been in touch. She's doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is all right. Yeah. So I
Mm.
seen Brett today. Brett only work on Thursday. Only one day Thursday he works here. I just want to see him and say, I'm gonna go to the trip. How you doing? Good. Wonderful, man.
Good.
Everything's good. That's
Oh yeah. I'll just stop the recording.
it
Yeah.
today.
How's he doing?